Oculus Link is out of beta at last, and apparently I missed it. It happened yesterday, 13th of the 11th, 2020, and I've only just noticed. But let's have a little read of what the notification says here. So, Oculus Link is now out of beta! In addition to the beta exit, we've added the following features that let you crank up the visuals by fine-tuning the following graphics preferences. You can now set your refresh rate to 72Hz, 80Hz or 90Hz, which of course is our frames per second as well. So how smooth, how fluid and responsive and sharp it's going to feel whilst we're in virtual reality. And it says, please note, USB 3 is required for 80 and 90 Hz support. I guess obviously USB 2, the bandwidth isn't enough to support those extra frames that will be coming down. I mean, from 72 to 90 Hz, what is that, 25% increase? So it's a fair chunk of extra bandwidth, I suppose. And then it says you can now adjust your render resolution for even better visuals. Now, I've looked this up and I'm trying to figure out exactly what it means by render resolution, because we've been able to play with what I would call the render resolution for a little while using the Oculus Debug tool and some other workarounds, and that's the resolution that the game is rendered at on the PC before it's sent down link to our Quest headsets. But then there's the display resolution or output resolution. And this is really what's of most importance. And I'm hoping this is actually what it means here, but I don't know because I can't find any information about it. The output resolution, we want it to be our native Quest resolution, which is 3,664 pixels long for both eyes and 1,920 pixels high. That way, we get a pixel for pixel perfect representation for the display in our Quests. If it's lower, if it's still sending it out the output resolution like it was previously at the resolution of the Quest 1, then it doesn't look quite right. There's jagged edges and it doesn't match up pixel for pixel. And this is super important to how clear and crisp the visuals look. You could even scale back, say, texture quality, but having it at the native resolution is what makes the biggest difference, to visual quality. It'd be like going on your say your 4K television and running it at 720p. Things would look blocky and jagged, or even worse, going down to 480p. Things would look horrible. So it really needs to be pixel for pixel, and I'm not sure whether it's yet done that yet. Because it literally says you can now adjust the render resolution. And as I say, the render resolution could be the resolution the game's rendered at, not the resolution it's being displayed at. I don't know. And I can't find any information on it. And what's interesting is, it then says, learn more about these new features in our graphics preferences article. So I've been searching around, I can't find this elusive graphics preferences article anywhere online. So if anyone can find it, I'd love you to link me to it in the comments, because I've tried and I can't find it. So, I was hoping that would explain whether the render resolution is actually the output and display resolution, or whether it's just, as we are already, being able to set what it renders at on the PC, which also would allow for super sampling if you bumped it up beyond the native res of the headset. But again, this is where you run into problems, because if it's not outputting at the native res of the headset, super sampling it but then downsampling it to display, it just doesn't make any sense. So I really want to know what that means, and I can't test it to see how it looks, because in spite of the fact that my PC has received the version 23 update and it says features becoming available on the 13th of the 11th, which was yesterday, my Quest, it's plugged in here, so it's on charge and it's turned on, hasn't yet received the update. Now, Tyriel Wood said yesterday that they are rolling it out as we speak. I saw his video this morning. And he suggested that you leave the headset on, leave it charging, which is exactly what I'm doing, and perhaps even power cycling it every now and then can kind of speed things up, because potentially it only checks for software updates, maybe at boot, or perhaps when it first connects to Wi-Fi, so maybe turning Wi-Fi on and off might help to speed up the process. But currently, 11:22 in the morning on Saturday the 14th, computer's ready to roll. The Quest 2 hasn't had its update yet. So these options that it speaks about, being able to change the frequency, the hertz and the FPS, are not there yet. They're not enabled, so I can't actually do it. But yeah, so everyone out there, make sure your PC has got version 23 on it now. And make sure you've got your Quest 2 powered up and ready, and perhaps power cycle it a few times throughout the day, turn it on and off, and hopefully we'll all have our updates, and I'll be able to report back in a few days after I've done some testing in some sim racing titles, because this really, for my channel, is obviously the most important thing. Are we going to at last have, excuse me, that one-to-one pixel output? Is it going to be the native resolution? Is it going to look crisp and sharp, both up front and in the distance? And this is what we all want to know. So anyway, get power cycling your Quests, keep them on charge, get your Oculus software update on the PC, and I'll see you in a few days, and we'll have a little chat about how well this all now works coming out of beta.